What's the difference between $1,100? Stay tuned. All right, everyone, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully everyone is safe out there. We have the Galaxy S26 Ultra on the left side and the Galaxy A17 5G on the right side right here. We're going to go ahead and compare the specifications between both these devices. I also am going to compare both of my experiences with these devices and also some photos and videos I took on these devices as well. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start this out. All right, everyone, so first and foremost, the bodies of these devices are going to be made out of vastly different materials. The Galaxy S26 Ultra, first and foremost, is 7.55 ounces, and the Galaxy A17 is going to be 6.77 ounces. So the S26 Ultra, of course, is going to be a little bit heavier, and that does make sense because it is made out of more premium materials. The Galaxy S26 Ultra has Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the front and back, and of course, it's going to be hosting an aluminum frame, specifically a Armor aluminum frame too, around the entirety of this device right here. Very, very nice premium device right here. We also have an IP68 dust tight and water resistance on this, immersible up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. Going over to the Galaxy A17 5G, plastic back, plastic sides. However, we do have a Gorilla Glass Victus display. It's not Victus 2, but it's Victus. And of course, we're going to have a certification. However, it's not going to be 68. It is going to be an IP54 dust protected and water resistant to splashes. So a big difference between the builds of these devices. Getting into the displays of these devices, however, the Galaxy S26 Ultra has a dynamic LTPO AMOLED 2X display, 120 Hz refresh rate, HDR10 Plus, and a 2600 nits peak brightness on this device, compared to the Galaxy A17 that has a Super AMOLED display, a 90 Hz refresh rate, and a 800 nits peak brightness on the A17. 6.7-inch display on the A17 and 6.9-inch display on the Galaxy S26 Ultra. As far as the screen-to-body ratio, we have an 86% screen-to-body ratio because of that big notch at the top and the big chin at the bottom of the A17. But on the Galaxy S26 Ultra, we have a 91% screen-to-body ratio due to its thin bezels. We also have a resolution of 1440 by 3120 on the S26 Ultra, and on the A17, we have a 1080 by 2340 resolution with a 385 ppi compared to the S26 Ultra's 500 ppi. We'll of course also get a privacy display on the S26 Ultra, so for notifications for certain applications that you're in, or just for the entirety of your display on the S26 Ultra, if you want it going all of the time, you guys can actually turn on that privacy display, and obviously that's going to give you a little bit more of a privacy when you are in the public setting. Getting into the operating system, the Galaxy S26 Ultra is running Android 16 with 7 years of major operating system updates, and the Galaxy A17 did actually release with Android 15. However, we're only getting 6 years of operating system updates. The S26 Ultra came out with One UI 8.5, and the Galaxy A17 came out with One UI 7.0. As far as the processor in these devices, we have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 in the Galaxy S26 Ultra, and in the Galaxy A17, we actually have the Exynos 1330. As far as the storage variants on both these devices, the base variant for the Galaxy A17 is going to be 128 gigabytes of internal storage and 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the Galaxy S26 Ultra is going to have 8 more gigabytes of RAM at 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of internal storage. However, the Galaxy A17 does have the inclusion of a micro SD card slot, so you can expand the memory on the Galaxy A17. Always great to see that. Getting into the Galaxy S26 Ultra, our main camera is going to be a 200 megapixel wide-angle camera. We're going to have a secondary 10 megapixel telephoto with 3 times optical zoom. Our third camera is going to be a 50 megapixel periscope telephoto camera with 5 times optical zoom, and our last camera is going to be a 50 megapixel ultra wide with super steady, and of course we get the inclusion of the brand new horizon lock on this as well. Going over to the Galaxy A17, pretty bare bones camera. Our main camera is going to be a 50 megapixel wide angle, secondary is going to be a 5 megapixel ultra wide, and our third camera is going to be a 2 megapixel macro, capable of recording at 1080p 30 frames per second, and the S26 Ultra gets all the way up to 8K at 30 frames per second. The S26 Ultra also has a 12 megapixel wide angle camera, again able to record at 4K at 60 frames per second, and the Galaxy A17 actually has a 13 megapixel wide angle front facing camera capable of recording at 1080p at 30 frames per second. So of course we get a considerable resolution upgrade over the Galaxy A17 with the S26 Ultra. So if you guys are wanting a better camera, the Galaxy S26 Ultra is going to have that much nicer camera. It's going to be much more dynamic. It's going to have better colors. It's going to have better color accuracy. And of course, it's just going to give you more detail overall. All right, everyone, so we have the front-facing camera on the Galaxy S26 Ultra, and this is what you guys can expect out of this. Let's go ahead and walk around a little bit. I have the front-facing camera on the Galaxy A17 5G, and this is what you can expect from Full HD 30 frames per second. Next up, we have the S26 Ultra, Full HD 30 frames per second. This is what you guys can expect out of this. Still with that juddering effect on a $1,300 phone. It doesn't look bad. We get some clear video quality on here, but that juddering effect, man, don't like that. Do not like that. Of course, we got 10 times zoom on this. Very, very clear. Love to see it. Back to 1. We also have 25 times zoom right here as well. Look at that. Look at that. Let's go to these lights right here. Wow. Very, very clear footage for 25 times zoom right here. Solid. I got the rear-facing camera on the Galaxy A17 5G, 30 frames per second. Doesn't do 60, doesn't do 4K, doesn't do anything crazy fancy. We do the 0.5 times zoom, as you guys can see right here, which is definitely going to be useful for some people. Both devices have a 5,000 milliamp battery. The S26 Ultra has a 60 watt wired charge. The Galaxy A17 has a 25 watt wired charge. The S26 Ultra has a 25 watt wireless charge and a 4.5 watt reverse wireless charge. And as far as the A17, we don't have reverse wireless charging or wireless charging. So those are the differences between these devices, and those are the differences between $1,100. Again, the Galaxy S26 Ultra is a $1,300 device right here, and the Galaxy A17 is a $200 device. And sometimes you can get this device for free, and even as low as $175 I saw it as well. So if you guys do want to save some money, there are always other phones. You don't have to pick up the flagship Galaxy S26s. Just want to make this video to show you the differences between a huge price gap right here, and to show you guys that the majority of people out there are going to be totally fine with something like the A17 or the A36 or something like that, instead of going all the way to something crazy like the S26 Ultra. But again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But overall, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. This has been Safan from TechRight. Peace out, Tech Gang.